Tower, November 1192 Mike, Cessna 172.
So hi, today Simrat, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
All good, all good. So I'll be asking you a few questions. First of all, welcome to Vayudoot Aviation, and we shall be discussing a journey of being a pilot with you. How did you become a pilot? What inspired you to become a pilot? So coming on to the questions of these students, all right? So what made you want to become a pilot?
So originally, I'm from a family of aviation. My father is a pilot, and my mother was actually an air hostess before I was born. So from my childhood, I've just been seeing these planes and flying around places, and I've always been interested. Most importantly, my dream was to be like my dad. So my dad inspired me throughout my childhood, and I could see myself change my behavior little slowly towards becoming a pilot. I always was interested in more sports, in cars, machines, video games. So I felt like I was just drawn to being a pilot. And yeah, I think my dad inspired me.
Nice. I would like to ask you, how did you start your journey to become a pilot?
So I started with clearing my exams first. I thought that was the most important to get out of the way. So I cleared all my theory written exams and my RT, and then I decided to go abroad to fly. It's just easier to do it that way, I feel, because you are well prepared when you actually go to fly.
Any specific reason for you to choose that particular FTO where you did your flight training?
I actually did some of my ground classes here with Sir Girish and Vayadoot, and he had a collaboration with a couple of schools. So he helped me choose the best one suitable for me. And I went under Part Sir, who was actually an Indian instructor. He took care of all my DGCA requirements and was actually did everything in a way which was more comfortable for me coming from India. So that was most comfortable for me. That's how I picked my school. Yeah.
Thank you for your answer. Now, how did you find that school and your training period, your stay, your accommodations, or the facilities that were provided by the FTO? Did you come across any problems that other students need to know?
Not at all, actually. My training was very smooth. There were offices. There were two offices at my time, and one office was for Part Sir and the Indian students. There were a lot of Indian students who would go under Sir because of their DGCA requirements. So, in terms of the planes, the maintenance documentation, everything was the best actually. I didn't have any problems there. With the accommodation also, I already chose a place to stay before I left. I had no hiccups going there. I straight went, landed, reached my house. Everything was just ready for me. Everyone knew I was arriving, and there was a good communication we had with the people over there already. So it was actually quite smooth. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is the way to go, because you should be knowing where to land and how to go reach a place, keep your belongings, and then go hunt for the school. And this is how it works. It is the best thing that you did. What do you enjoy most about being a pilot? Like, obviously, it is not a question to be asked, but still.
Well, it's not a typical answer, but I actually enjoy knowing more about how the aircraft works and the the mechanics of it. Like, I've always been interested in I've always been interested in driving, so I would actually ask my dad how things work. Mostly, I was interested in how the things fly, how things work, different parts. So I'm actually interested in a bit of the study part of it. But of course, I love traveling. I love everything that comes with being a pilot. It just perfectly fits.
So you like the life, you travel for work, basically.
Yeah.
Your work is traveling, your office is somewhere above where normal people live, so you get to get that good view and everything.
Yeah.
35,000 people.
Yes. And any specific aircraft that you are having an inclination, or any aircraft that you want to fly in the future?
So my dream is Airbus A380.
This is the biggest.
The biggest. And so,
his father also flying same aircraft?
No, my dad flies the 777.
Sir is flying
He did fly the Jumbo, which was close.
Yeah.
But so that's why the way I picked my route was through Airbus now.
So yes, her father flew the queen of the air. She wants to fly the king
King
of
of
the
the
air. Correct. Now, that is the comparison. No?
Started your journey in USA. So, like between India and USA, why you selected USA? Why not you want to fly in India?
Well, firstly in Miami, there was just so much general flying. There are so many aircrafts. There is so much exposure there. There's much more experience there. There were so many airports there. You know, everything just worked in your favor, where you're getting, you know, the best of everything. You know, it's just easier for you to learn to fly with other people around doing the same thing. Everyone's well versed with things happening there. So I think I chose US because the general aviation is more over there. It was a better idea to go there. Yeah.
So in your in USA, what is your experience like regarding aircraft, flight training, and all this stuff?
It was exciting. My first flight, I still remember, it was we went over the coast, Miami coast, and we saw the whole coastline. It was like my the flight where they show you around and stuff.
Familiarization.
Yeah,
It is also a scenic flight in the same thing.
Yeah.
So basically that coastal flight is very nice because you fly somewhat around 400, 500 feet because you can go as low as you can.
Yeah.
So instructor also tell, okay, we'll be going low. Okay, don't worry. And if someone asks, tell that we flew low because of the stress of the weather.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very exciting. And of course, when it came to studying, it was new things we were learning about the aircraft, about the rules, regulations. I didn't think it was like very difficult. It's very doable when you're studying on time and doing everything on time. I personally enjoyed it a lot. I think it's the best thing I've done.
And any funny story or incident that happened while you were taking the training with you or with any student which you want to share?
I'll have to think about that. My flying was actually quite straightforward. You know, I didn't have any mishaps or anything. Funny story. Actually, this one time, like, most of my funny stories were in regard to my RT or, communication with the ATC, or which we couldn't understand because sometimes there's a bit of a barrier, you won't understand the accent. And this one time I was just on an approach coming in, and every time I was like trying to reduce my speed to land, put the flaps, they would tell me, no, maintain your speed, to the point where I'm like, what do you want me to do? There was a bit of an argument on the RT, and then my only choice was to like go around, and then later they were like, there was like an emergency aircraft behind you, so we asked you to,
keep maintaining that
speed.
You cannot slow it down.
Yeah. So it wasn't funny, but it was like, there's always a new thing in every flight you have, which, you learn from.
And any piece of advice you want to give to the future aviator who are like going to initiate their flying career?
So I would say that first and foremost, I say this to everyone, you have to keep studying. Apart from that, your expectations, like with time and money and all, don't be like stuck to it. A little plus minus you have to accommodate for, and you just have to make sure that you are putting in the effort required, and then you will get the result you want, in terms of your cost, in terms of your time, in terms of your hours. So you should be following like a streamlined routine, and I think then everything will work out.
All right. So with this, we come to an end to this wonderful session. I don't have any question, but I'll ask Girish.
So, Simrat, some students have the question.
Yes.
The most students ask question regarding training cost in USA. So, how much you spend it for your training?
I spent around like 58,000 USDs, and I think that's how much it will be, like plus minus according to the rate of the per hour rate, and so you can take a bracket of 55 to 60. It should be between that.
So, it's 55 to 60,000 US dollars.
Yes.
So, which type of aircraft you flew, like Cessna 172?
Yeah, I flew Cessna 172 and the Piper 7.
And what is the living cost there?
The living cost ranges from which kind of room you want. If you want like a single occupancy room, it should be around like 800, 700, 800. could go up to 1,000 if the room is bigger or the house is bigger. And a sharing room could be between like 500 to 800, depending again on like the size and the amenities. Yeah.
And food cost and
So food cost would also depend on how you're eating, how much Uber Eats you're doing every day. Honestly, if you're cooking and if you have your grocery runs which you make, it should not cost more than 100. Take maybe 100, 150, but usually it's much lower. It's around like $70, $80 for a grocery run, per month.
per month.
Yeah.
Any other questions, sir?
And the traveling from accommodation to airport.
So you can, a lot of my friends rented cars, and it's very easy. You can, have like an agreement of giving it back, leasing it back to the owner, or you can rent scooters. If you have a house owner, like a landlord who has his own car, sometimes you can ask them to pick up or drop you, or have like an agreement with them. Mostly, I used to use my landlord's car. I would pay him like a monthly rent for the car, and I usually used to take the car everywhere. It was a spare car he wasn't using, and later on, I started using a scooter.
So if you calculate total cost for pilot training will be approximate 55 to 60,000 rupees for your CPL training, then approximate $700 per month. So your training duration is
Approximately 9 to 10 months.
9 to 10 months.
Or like 12 months you can take a year.
Upper end.
Upper end.
So approximate 7 to 9,000 rupees. 7,000 to 9,000 $.
Okay. Yeah.
For your accommodation and food cost for.
So I would say in a month, including accommodation of 7 to 8 to 900 and food, it should not cross $1,200.
Okay.
So if you calculate 1,000 to 1,200, it should be $12,000 to $15,000. Yeah.
So after completing CPL, you decided to do the type rating.
Yes.
So why you decided Airbus and why not Boeing 737?
Well, Airbus, just personally I chose Airbus because I said, my dream aircraft to fly is the A380. Other than that, I think India had more of a bigger fleet of Airbus,
True.
Domestic fleet. So more vacancies were coming out on Airbus 320 at the moment. And it's actually a bit more automated and newer than the Boeing aircraft. So I chose Airbus.
So Airbus type rating you done from?
I did it from FSTC Gurgaon.
FSC.
I would like to thank Simrat for coming to Vayudoot.
Thank you so much.
You're always a good student, and we wish you all the very best for your future. Okay, and yes, you are always welcome whenever you want anything. You want any help with the airline preparation or the questions, adapt, ask them, anything. You are always welcome. And do guide the future students towards continuing with their aviation career. Thank you.
Thank you so much.